I bet you know someone that's going through a difficult season right now. And I can even say myself that I was someone that was going through a difficult season just recently. And so today's episode is just about that. It's going to be about 5 ways that we can be a friend to someone that is going through a very difficult, hard season. But you got me. It's solo on a mic. We changed our background, if you will, made a little shift change. I've got my notes here, so I'll probably be looking at them every once in a while, but we're just going to have a conversation exactly about this. And there's a couple of things before we get into the 5 things that I just want to lay some groundwork on. Understanding when someone is going through a hard season, the mental capacity that it takes over in their life, in their thinking, in what they do, in how they respond. And so I remember my therapist always telling me, like, you have to know the difference between anger and grief. People that respond in anger do not understand grief yet because they're so angry and they see no hope. People that walk in grief, they see the hope, but they know that just for a little while, I'm just going to grieve what I've lost. And I know that there's hope in the future. And so just knowing the difference of those things obviously are going to make you a good friend from the start. So I wanted to start with that because I think those are the variations that allow us to understand that grief is one thing, anger is another. And to understand that if they're grieving or they're angry, whatever space they're in, the end of the day, my friends, this is not about you. It's not about me. It's about their heart. And so because they're angry at the outcome, because they're angry at the decision that was made, they're angry because their daughter was taken from them, whatever that looks like, they're angry. Just know that it's not about you. Okay? So, number 1, listen. Listen. And Henry Cloud, I love what he says. It's so simple, but it's so profound. Listen to understand. Listen to understand. Sometimes when someone is going through some difficult, hard times, they don't need us to tell them what we think or what we think they should do, or have they thought about this or anything. Sometimes just they need to know that you're just there, that you are there to just listen whenever they need somebody to talk to. That you're not there to give them advice. You're not there to tell them what to do. You're not there to just appease them or even just appease yourself because, oh, you're involved in their situation. You're involved in their hard decisions. Like, just listen and let the emptiness be okay. Be okay with the space to know that we can just sit in silence. That sometimes all I want to know is that if I can be a friend that just sits in the room with you and not say anything, if that's all you need me to be, that I will be that exactly for you. I know even in times of loss, what helps sometimes is for them to tell their story about what that person meant to them, what that child was like for them, whatever those stories are, allow them the freedom to talk to you about it because it helps them process their grief a little faster. It helps them walk from the hard place to a place of hope and restoration. It allows them to see that this was a relationship here built on purpose and God intended for my son, my daughter, my mother, whatever those relationships are. If there's loss involved, sometimes we have to allow them to tell us their stories because it helps them process their grief easier. So listen to understand is number 1. Number 2, offer the help, yes, but show up for the need. And here's what I mean by that. I think we see so many people, I know, we see so many people, I will bring you this, I will do this for you, I want to be able to help you with this. And they sign up for it, they do all the things, they say, I'm going to mow your yard, whatever that looks like, right? And they next thing you know, you get a text, oh, I can't, I'm in so-and-so. Oh, I can't, I ended up having an appointment. Like, don't ask for the need if you can't fill it. Don't sit there and say, I want to offer my help, but you can't follow through. It makes it a hard situation even more difficult because it's already difficult for them. See, especially when there's loss involved, when there's places where they're out of state, listen, the lawns grow, the dishes don't get done, the laundry is stacked up, whatever that looks like, because they're in the hospital constantly. I remember my sister-in-law, I would go back to Denver when my sister-in-law was fighting with my nephew with kidney cancer. And she's in the children's hospital every day. And I was there only to take care of the babies at the house while she was at the hospital. That was what I was to do when I was there. I didn't need to do anything else for her in that sense because she already felt a weight was lifted. And that's all I could do was that part. So I had dinner made, I did the shopping, whatever it was to get those kids' minds off of the circumstance and allow her to just focus on what was needing to be focused on at that moment. And that was taking care of her son, Levi. And so don't just offer, but follow through with what you're offering is number two. I mean, yeah, take care of the details. So knowing if the lawn needs to get mowed, if the groceries need to go get shopped, if they need to get picked up, if there's Instacart needs to be, whatever it is, know the details. I love food signups. I love signing up for food, the meal trains and things like that, because it allows me to just do a little small part of saying, I see you and I understand. And so just be a part of the little things. Offer, yes, but follow through is so big. Number three, don't minimize the pain. Don't minimize what they're going through. Oh, well, at least you still have. Like, what? Somebody just walking through a divorce right now. At least you still have XYZ. Okay? If it's a loss, if it's the children, if it's cancer, whatever the symptoms are, whatever the struggles are, whether it's a difficult marriage, whether your kid's being difficult, never minimize their pain. Like it's something that they're going to process through, and then you want to just, oh, this is no big deal. It is a big deal. It's a big deal to them. And the best thing you can do is say the next hopeful thing, that God will see you through in a way that allows them to say, he sees you and he understands you right now, but God will see you through. You have to say that next hopeful thing that yes, you are now a widow, but God sees your tears. It doesn't minimize those things, but it allows them to see the hope that is strung along with it, that allows them to understand that where two or three are gathered, there he is in the midst. And so don't minimize their pain. Number 4, be the friend that she can trust. Oh, this is a big one for me. This should have been number 1, especially this summer. This was number 1 for me, but be the friend that she can trust. There's nothing like being able to call that one friend when you're going through some really hard situation and you know that you are not going to be the prayer request at the Bible study, that you know that you are not going to be the next phone call that she makes to someone else, that you know that you can trust her with the hard, difficult things because you can be honest. Gosh, you could be so mad at God, and at the same time, she's not going to judge you for it. She's not going to explain it away. She's not going to spiritualize it or sugarcoat it or anything. She's just going to walk with you and say, I understand. I get it. And it was those simple things that I just needed to feel human. Feel that, yes, I am made of flesh and I am full of anger and full of what I didn't want to hate or want to really understand what God was, why he was allowing these things to happen. And yet I needed her to remind me and to help me understand. But I could not do that. I could never get to that place with her if I didn't trust her. If I didn't trust her with my words, if I didn't trust her with my thoughts, with my thinking, with my feelings, because I could understand and hear myself when I was being able to talk to her, because she didn't judge me. That was probably the biggest thing that I admired about her. I never felt judged. I never felt shamed. I never felt ridiculed. I mean, mind you, there was nothing, no sin or anything like that was happening, but there was this heaviness this past summer that was just really, really hard season to walk through. So be the friend that she can trust. It's so big. And listen, I get it. I talked to her recently and she's like, Michelle, so many people are going through so many hard things. And how do you know that? She's like, because there's people, my friends call and they say this and they want prayer for that and all these hard seasons. And I'm like, my friend, let's go to a movie. Let's go to the park. Let's go get an ice cream. And I call it compassion fatigue. Like, she's so tired of being compassionate for other people that we can't lose sight of our own self-care, our own heaviness of saying, God, there's so much others people going on, but I'm going to keep casting. I'm going to keep casting on you. You know, give me your yoke that's lighter, and I'll hand you the yoke that's heavier. So be the friend that she can trust. Number 5, cover her in prayer, even when she can't pray for herself. Dare I say, pray for herself anymore. Man, when you can pray for someone, it's like that 2 a.m. wake-up call, and God just brings a name in front of you. That's your cue to start praying for that person. When you're driving in your car and her face pops up, that's your cue to start praying for her. When you're in the grocery line and you see that mom struggling to figure out how she's going to manage a third kid when she's got 2 in the basket and 1 on the way, and you can see her tired, that's your cue to pray for her. Because maybe she's just tired of praying for herself. Maybe she's just struggling, not understanding, and she's got all these questions. And sometimes I think you can understand when I say this is that, you know how when you pray, so much of your prayer is more questions than they are answers or hope or confidence or anything that you can give yourself. Speak life into yourself, right? Life and death are in the power of the tongue. When you begin to just question, why this, God? When is this going to happen? Why can this not happen for me? What is my next thing? Like, all of these questions, you get tired of praying the same prayers all the time. And, you know, God was showing me this past week that we have to start looking for our joy. We got to start finding our joy again. And like I said, our joy is in our thankfulness. Our joy is found in our thankfulness. God, I thank you that I have food on my table. God, I thank you that I have a roof over my head. God, I thank you that my children know you. God, I'm thankful that my mom is making her way even as a widow. I'm thankful that you healed my nephew Levi. Like, I'm thankful for all the things that you have done in my life, because I think what happens is, and I know what happens is, we weigh ourselves down with so much heaviness and so much hard seasons, and we're seeing friends that are going through difficult, hard situations, and yet we sit here and we're like, I don't want to pray the same prayers anymore. I'm tired. But you know what could be the best thing is when your friend says that I'm going to pray for you. I'm going to be the Joshua that picks you up and lifts you up and says, I'm going to continuously walk with you and pray with you. When you are empty, I want to be able to be that friend that can help you fill you back up. God will always fill that person up. But when you can be a Joshua and lift their shoulders and say, let's walk this out, I will be with you. Just like God says, he will never leave you nor forsake you. But when you can be like Christ, when you can go and lift that person up and pray with that person, encourage that person, inspire them in a way that they can see things clearly. Again, it doesn't go back into, well, let me tell you what's happened to me, or let me tell you what I did, because everybody's situation is different. Everybody's situation is different. But if the person that you're friends with can just know that you're there, that you're present, whether they need a voice or whether they need it to be silent, whether they need an encouragement or just somebody to just pray with them in silence, no matter what, these are the ways that you can be a friend to someone that is going through a hard season. And we have to ask ourselves sometimes, how can I be a friend to that person that is going through a difficult season? And not saying these are the 5 top things, like you have to do all these 5 things. They could be 1 or 2, whatever. And some of them you're going to add different things to different friends because they're different personalities. You're a different personality. But all I'm saying is be the friend in prayer, in silence, giving them hope, allowing them to see how God sees them, and that this is such a temporary circumstance and that the bigger picture is on its way, but allowing them to sit sometimes in grief, knowing that they're not angry at God, but they're just grieving the circumstance. They'll be okay. So the bonus, I guess you can say, is this. If you know a friend that is going through a really hard season, or you know of someone that you want to share this episode with, please do that. Because this is something that I believe, again, so many of my friends are going through really hard seasons in their life. Life is difficult. And it allows them to see that they're not alone in this. They'll be okay. So that's all I got for you today. So we'll see you next time.